Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and Creative Assembly have just released a bit of a Let's Play for Skulltaker. They provided us the footage a little bit earlier, so yeah, I'm gonna sit down here, we're gonna watch through it and stop at anything of importance, of note, like we usually do with these types of Let's Plays. As per usual, I have not had access to Skulltaker just yet, so this is something that I am watching for the first time. I'm not gonna bother doing that with other stuff when I eventually get access, unlike other people, because why fake react?
What you're about to see is pre-alpha footage of OMENS of Destruction. This was recorded months in advance, so there's still some placeholders in game. We're really hard at work right now and can't wait for you to get your hands on it at release.
Hunter, deliberate, relentless.
The eyes of Khorne blaze down upon us.
Absolutely proficient in killing. Seek out your prey, bring it down, bask in the favor of Khorne.
Alright, there we go, the mount has been confirmed. I don't know why it's taken them so long and they had to show it on footage. It's a weird thing. Even in the roster stuff, they haven't showcased the mounts. It's very strange.
So let's get reaping those skulls, humiliating those lords, and showing off that fancy cloak. The Skulltaker. The cranium collector himself and champion of Khorne.
I know this isn't important, but I want to stop here. It's one of the times that we're actually going to see this in-game proper. This is in-game cameras, barring a few animations coming in here and there, but God, he looks great. I know, it's nothing important to stop at. But he's a big character. I've got his model in resin, fine cast, I've got his model in metal, and even the new one in plastic. And for some reason, Skulltaker has always been one of those models which, my God, it's just awesome.
His presence in the known world will chill the chainmail of any champion, as he seeks out worthy champions to display their skulls on his trophy case of a cloak. Those unlucky enough to start their journey in Lustria will come face to face with him.
Lustria is a really odd area. I mean, it makes sense because there was a minor faction here, and it's likely that they wanted to fill that out with a little bit more, but it's just kind of funny that they made a big stick about getting rid of the Lustria Ball, and now it's back. And I'm not complaining, I'm actually really looking forward to this campaign, and mostly because there's such a variety of enemies to fight. It's just an observation, really.
Before we begin, if you're seeking a full list of updates coming with Omens of Destruction, check out our blog through the links below.
Or the Great Book of Grudges, who posts a video on the same topic, literally at the same time that you guys do. A little self-promotion there.
We began our campaign at Hualotl in the Guanji Valley, a beautiful sunny climate for slaughter. Skulltaker is first and foremost a fighter, with strong melee attack.
Pretty decent stats, I'm not gonna lie. Weapon strength is quite high, charge bonus is pretty good, leadership is high, speed's pretty decent, obviously keep in mind that he can be mounted. I was expecting a little bit more armor considering that he is wearing a decent amount, but I mean, it's not too important. And obviously, they are going to showcase his Lord effects in just a second, but we've seen them already because they posted it on Twitter.
And the Blooded Wanderer trait, increasing his campaign movement range and line of sight, allowing him to focus his efforts on his target. Execution! Basically, don't get in his way. Surrounded by disciples of Tzeentch, we quickly moved over to Queertax for the first step of our skull harvest. It was a modest result, which we raised for an additional Bloodhost army, expending our skulls in return for more momentum on the map. Our second attack was on Chakwe, and by this point, the lands had begun to bleed through with our corruption. The distant roars of the lizardmen just north of us have quelled, the result of Bretonnian maniacs crusading through the jungles.
So I think this is going to be the perfect time to talk about this. This is going to be quite a hectic campaign. To your north, you have Albric, the Hunts Marshal, and Yuan Bo. Then a little bit to your west, you've got Rakaf. To your south, you've got two Lizardmen Legendary Lords, then Skrolk, and also the Vampire Coast. This is going to be a very fun campaign if you like fighting against a lot of variety. So it's definitely going to be quite cool. I'm looking forward to this one a lot, to be honest. I wasn't too sure, but the idea of just fighting so many different types of factions is going to be good.
But they've stepped too far into these lands. and they don't know what awaits them. And so, turn 8. We've made our first attack on Alberic's faction, raising Zahatek and spawning yet another Blood Host army.
Skulltaker is a Khorne faction, so he abides by similar rules. You will be expanding towards your enemies, you will take over their settlements, you will sacrifice and raise them in the name of Khorne. However, we've introduced an interesting twist on this premise related to Skulltaker's Cloak of Skulls.
More on that in just a moment. We're playing a bit of a balancing game with our resources. Skulls provide us with Bloodhost armies, but we've got other uses for skulls now. Let's send one of our followers up to the settlement of Bragon to recover our lost skulls. It'll also provide a nice blow to Alberic, as raising a settlement now leaves it uninhabitable for other factions for a few turns. Be gone, Bragon. That was terrible, sorry. Oh, hello. It's fine, I need the skulls. Alberic is our first encounter with a legendary lord. His reputation on the field means he is worth more to us than a generic lord. Defeating him will earn Skulltaker 60 points of champion essence.
Okay, so here we can get the details regarding the breakdown. So, battles won by the Lord will give you more. The fact that they're legendary lords will make them more worth it. Lord type not yet defeated, so if you've not killed any of the legendary lords before, you'll get more. And also their rank comes into play, so I'm assuming that he's like rank 10 or something. Okay, yeah, this is going to be quite good. This means that you're going to get a lot of essence if you're one of these people like me who like very long-form campaigns. So once you're done dealing with Lustria and you decide to go to a cafe or whatever, yeah, I like this. Particularly like the breakdown. Breakdowns when it comes to certain resources like this, especially as thorough as it can be, is really, really good.
Which we can spend on buffs through our Cloak of Skulls mechanic. His army is big though, so for now we'll leave him to his ruins and target Laxland. There is another tasty Bretonnian skull there I can harvest, worth 16 champion essence. Bit of an easier target for us at this stage of our campaign.
According to lore, the Skulltaker is a duelist. What he usually does is when, for example, Khorne forces are besieging a fortress, he stands before the gates of the fortress on his own and he issues a challenge. Sooner or later someone marches out to face him and they lose. Always, invariably. You will see that each of them carries a different amount of champion essence, which depends on their level of experience and on the victories that they fought. This is a resource that you will gain once you face them in battle and you defeat them. And you will use this champion essence to enhance the skulls on the cloak. Each of the skulls is giving you different bonuses. You can unlock bonuses, you can further upgrade them. So this is actually a chief part of your gameplay loop. Be on the lookout for meaty enemy lords with a lot of champion essence, attack them, gain their champion essence, become stronger, and seek other prey for you to hunt down.
I wanted to let that keep on playing because I think it's quite important. Remember that this is going to be the first Warhammer project, I guess, for Sophia. It does vary because we've had other people before, but now we're getting some of the bigger names at Sophia taking part in Warhammer. Tordor being well known for like the stuff for Pharaoh and Troy, I believe. I know a lot of the stuff for Pharaoh because he did a bunch of interviews there. So I'm excited. I'm actually quite excited because I suspect that we're going to be seeing a lot more for CA Sophia on Warhammer 3 and potential future games kind of working in tandem. So yeah, this is going to bring fresh eyes. This, I think, is a big reason why I'm quite excited for Skulltaker and just in Khorne in general, because we know there's a bunch of devs from Sophia working on Khorne, so it should provide a different experience, yet still feeling quite familiar.
Our Cloak of Skulls holds many abilities in its noggins. For example, the Cloak of Skulls ability increases our armor and missile resistance, as well as making us immune to flanking. My original Bloodhost armies are clinging on by their claws, but they make up for the lack of recruitment I've made. Let's burn them up in one final battle and replace them as we move up north. Oh, hello Empire. What's this? Another tasty skull worth 16 essence points. Well, that'll take us past our threshold for the next skull on the cloak. I don't think I can turn that down. Let's give chase.
My favorite unit of the Skulltaker is the Blood Beasts of Khorne. Huge, brutish, ape-like monsters that are exceptionally good on...
Alright, I wanted to stop him here because I wanted to see the stats. Yeah, 60 speed, not bad. Actually, we talked about this on stream, and that's more or less what people were suspecting. It's taking a little bit of damage there, though. Yeah, high leadership is high, melee strength, weapon strength. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. I was expecting it to be as fast as a Rat Ogre. This is more or less the same type of stats, and we kind of saw like the animations are going to be very similar because it's going to use the same base rig and animations. But yeah, no, this is good, and it's a tier 3. Okay, so you're going to be getting them quite early into your campaign. That's not bad. I'm actually quite happy about this. I think these will pair nicely with my usual builds too. It's more the case that I like the kill spawn of Khorne, but I wanted something a little bit faster to act as a shock trooper. This should kind of be that, but I imagine that they do route.
The charge. They've got armor piercing damage, they induce fear in their enemies, and they have a particularly cool animation. They're particularly fun to use against goblins.
Goblins, you say? I hear rumours of goblin armies up in the old world. Perhaps a good spot for some champion hunting. Perhaps even a cathartic trip. I'm sure he'd like to meet the official 100th legendary lord. That is decided, right? Skulltaker? 100th? No one's going to question me. Oh, Marcus is making his way downtown. Let's move out the way and get some recruitment going for a welcome party.
The Khorne Gores in comparison to the...
Okay, stopping again. I hate stopping in the middle of dialogue, but yeah, you know, it's just we don't get a lot of information, especially with stats and so on. So Khorne Gores have great axes? Didn't the blog say... yeah, I'm pretty sure the blog said halberd, right? The blog doesn't, but a previous blog did, so keep in mind that everything is subject to change, especially stats, but armor 55, leadership's a bit low at the moment, speed is decent. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. Keep in mind that these can also be used by the Beastmen. That is confirmed, by the way. I did ask a dev, and they confirmed that they can be used by the Beastmen. What's odd to me, though, is great axes, because, well, we already have a great axe unit with the Pestigores. Hopefully this has changed. This has been recorded months in advance, so it could have already been changed.
Pestigores and Zarngors bring forward a more aggressive, hard-hitting role. They feature all the best benefits and qualities of the Mark of Khorne, and when they've taken enough damage, their ability will trigger, which will further enhance their melee prowess.
Alberic's forces are skulking around our lands. He'll likely regrow in strength, but with a higher population of skulls north of us, I think we'll head in that direction. I have something in mind for when Alberic is worthy of my attention, but let's also arrange some backup.
The Bloodspeaker is a new lord that plays a supportive role for Khorne. He specialises in buffing units around him, and when mounted, he adds that mobility.
Alright, you can see a lot of placeholder icons and stuff, but yeah, pretty decent stats all around. Less armor, but obviously, you know, they're shirtless and helmetless and stuff. I did see them there with a horse. I'm not sure if that means horse and something else. I just really hope there's a juggernaut involved. God touch mounts are so important, but yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be pretty decent at melee, and that's quite important. At the end of the day, it's still a Khorne Lord, so you're expecting it to do decent melee damage. I do like the design. It's very, very cool.
In order to boost our numbers further, we're going to utilise the Skull Throne, a new mechanic for Khorne that lets us spend our harvested skulls on more campaign buffs. Tiers unlock with the more skulls you spend, so once Marcus is defeated, I'll probably reduce my spend on Blood Hosts and begin building my way up the throne. For now, I'll select Blood Ex Nihilo, which spawns us 2 extra units for our new Blood Hosts. Blood may be for the Blood God, but today, the skulls are for our cloak.
One thing Creative Assembly have always done very, very well is campaign montages. And I mean that in the most sincere way possible. Like, I am super hyped up to play with Skulltaker. The more they've showcased and the just stupid amounts of combat there's going to be. I like combat, and I've really enjoyed Khorne Monogod with Skullbrand. I sometimes start up a fresh campaign and put him in a different location. So now having different lords to be able to do that without having to mod that in, yeah, that's going to be fun.
It's turn 57, and we're deep in the jungles of Powalaxa. Lizardmen skulls are nice and all, but they look a bit out of place on my cloak. Regardless, the champion essence I've extracted along their Sutter-like roads has fully unlocked my target tier, giving us the ability to teleport Skulltaker to lords he deems worthy to fight. Bad news for Alberic, who in my absence has been raiding my settlements and attempting to recover his dignity. He's doing fairly well. Oh, he's taking back Laxland. And yep, he's taking out Itza. 96 points of essence. I think it's time. Before our attack, we'll utilize the Skull Throne one more time. We've amassed a hefty pile of skulls and can replenish our army to its full health.
Alright, the teleporting is going to be incredibly useful, especially if you want to start launching wars in different locations, if you've got a vision of random enemies and so on. This works with cults, I'm imagining, so you can use that quite well. And then being able to instantly replenish your faction leader's army. Yeah, dude, that's a great benefit. I'm loving what I'm seeing with the Skull Throne rework. This is such a phenomenal improvement. I've said this before, there have been times that I've played Khorne on stream and I've completely forgotten that mechanic exists. Now there's a reason to keep going back to it. That's awesome. It makes me actually really excited for a possible rework for Sinesh in a future DLC, because I'm assuming, we've had Tzeentch, we've had Nurgle, we're about to get Khorne. It's about time we get Sinesh. So if shit's getting this good, yeah, dude, I'm feeling really confident.
My favourite unit, it's definitely got to be the Slaughter Brute. It's this large, hulking creature that has very little that can stop it in combat. Very proficient in taking down its enemies.
That's pretty good stats. It doesn't look like anything's been upgraded. I could be wrong, but in most cases I think they're just going to be taking this from the style shots when it comes to the stats and so on. But armor 70, weapon strength 500, charge bonus 60. Yeah, this is pretty damn good. This is honestly... Khorne's going to eat very well. I know a lot of people... I did have a few comments in the previous videos going, oh, but it's all a melee faction. That's boring. And it's like, nah, dude. Sometimes you just want to kill shit. And with Khorne, I mean, you're going to be able to do that. Yeah, that's not bad at all. I love the Slaughter Brute. It actually breaks my heart that I can't use mine in Warhammer the Old World. You never know in the future, though. You never know. But at the time being, big sad.
Skylar Anthengrim can be summarised as kill for Khorne. It's all we can say. It's going to be the last thing you hear, and he's very good at it.
Okay, here we go, Sylar. So, yeah, kill for Khorne, Scalar Skin, Unbreakable. This is a thing, right? We've seen that he's got Unbreakable. The Blood Beast should also have Unbreakable too, because they are spawns also. But other than that, I mean, stats are great. Speed 65, it's going to be a fast boy. Pretty high damage values all around. He's going to do a lot of damage. We know that he's got AoE damage too. It's an iconic model too. I mean, no matter how many times that Sylar's been remade by Games Workshop, people just fall in love with it. Because it's Chaos Monkey, right? It's the original Chaos Monkey. And now he's got a little bit of contingent to follow after him. Okay, very surprising. We're getting a lot of stats right now. So Scar Bloodwrath, anti-infantry. He's got rebirth, so we know that that's going to be the heal for him. High armor value, which makes sense because his skin is essentially mostly just like mutated scab. Yeah, pretty good stats, man. Oh, God. I'm such a big fan of the end time stuff. I hate the story. I think everyone does, right? But, like, the units were always really, really cool. Again, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but until release happens, this is going to keep happening. He should have been a lord. I know some people would want to argue against me there, but I really do think so. Either way, he's going to be fun to play, and it looks like he moves around quite quickly.
Scar Bloodwrath is our frontline hero who's themed around both self-revival and healing. He's going to be very difficult to take down. The Wrathmongers is a unit that I feel the players will get behind, and that's primarily because of their weapons, the Wrath Flails.
Okay, this is likely the one that I was most excited about, because Wrathmongers are freaking awesome. 80 armor is pretty damn good, anti-infantry, armor piercing, it's got frenzy also, very high leadership, pretty good speed also, 35 is pretty damn good. Yeah, dude, this is good. I can't wait. One of the ideas I've got, I was talking to another creator about doing like some battles and so on, because it's stuff that I want to do on the channel every now and then, and I want to do just a full Scaramore build if possible, because I figured that would be kind of fun to do. I don't know how viable it would be. It'd definitely be like a Scaramore only playthrough at some point too. Yeah, I think it could be done.
Enables them to deal devastating splash attacks and in general just hard armor piercing attacks. The Skull Reapers are similar to the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. While they have less armor, they are in no way less effective in combat. They are absolutely devastating against infantry, whilst
I don't like this whole classification of making Skull Reapers very similar to Chaos Warriors of Khorne. If you compare the Skull Reapers on the tabletop to the Chaos Warriors, the standard ones, there's a mighty difference. And I mean, like, massive. But stat-wise, it's pretty good. I mean, we'll have to compare them. Once I can do, like, the battle stuff, I'll start comparing them. Mostly because I want these guys to be good. Like, I really am hoping that Skull Reapers are absolutely devastating. And it's not just, oh yeah, you know, it's just a less armored Chaos Warrior. It looks pretty decent. It looks pretty decent. I just don't like this classification of, yeah, it's a Chaos Warrior. Right? It just throws me off.
being cost effective.
I've been trying to get Outbreak all battle, but he keeps flying around. This should trap him in position for us. Alberic may have recovered from our initial meeting, but upon his triumphant return, he has only proved himself a more worthy opponent to the Skulltaker. With his glory finally in view, the Cloak of Skulls, will Skulltaker live up to his name?
What a shot, dude. What an absolute shot. The thing is, this game has such beautiful screenshots, and it's, you know, it's Warhammer Fantasy Reborn. And I say that every DLC cycle. It's more the case, you know, every time they do these cinematic shots, because I'm awful with cameras, I really, really am. But just seeing that is so special, so absolutely special. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for Skulltaker, I think. I like the units, I like the differences. They're all very similar, but they're going to be very different in that case. It's nice to see some demons, some monsters, and also some mortals. It's not a lot, because it's only 5 and a Lord choice, but the idea is they've really gone and picked out the most interesting of the missing stuff for Khorne. There's a few things missing, mostly just some characters and so on, but they've gone, let's go get the biggest ones possible. And I think that's a great thing. Skulltaker looks great. I would have changed the colors on his mount, however, just to make him stand out a little bit more, because it looks like he's going to be a bit too uniform, barring himself, obviously, as a character model, to other, you know, bloodletters on mounts and so on. But other than that, like, what a show. What a freaking show. The gameplay showcases for Creative Assembly have always been top tier. In fact, I'll probably say that they're usually better than most others, because it shows gameplay. These new systems about putting the devs more into it is really, really good too. More explanations. I'm pretty happy about this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let's start a bit of a discussion. I yeah, I'm pretty happy. I was worried. I was kind of like, how are they going to top Thrones of Decay? And it looks so far with Khorne, especially with all the details that we've had in the blog, that it's going to be comparable to, like, say, for example, Tamacon. That's the thing. It doesn't have to be better than Thrones. It just has to be, like, equal or very close to it. And I think that's more or less is what we're going to be seeing. Obviously, this is not a review, and when you're able to get my review, I'll be able to do a proper breakdown, the usual 45-minute thing that I do. But, yeah, it looks good. I've not been able to play this faction just yet. I'm very excited to. I like demons. I've got multiple Chaos tattoos. Everyone knows that. So, yeah. Let's hope this DLC lives up to expectations and the next one won't be another fucking 8 months. See you guys. Have a good one. Just a heads up, because it is Black Friday, Instant Gaming, the company that I normally partner with, have gone on a sale. This isn't sponsored or anything, but I know people like good prices. They're always on discount, but these are further. And I've seen there that Rogue Trader is 69% off for 12 quid. That's actually a really good price. So I figured I'd let you guys know. For proper disclosure, if you use the links on the description, I also get a kickback at no extra cost to you. So it does support the channel, but I just want to let you guys know that yes, I do have an affiliate link with them. And yeah, legal reasons, right?
Let us know in the comments below, or follow our links to wishlist now.